Hello, and welcome back to Audiotree Live. My name is Jason. Today is Sunday, May 18th, and we're coming at you from Chicago, Illinois, as usual. Before we get into today's show, I want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button on our channel below. We work here very hard to find the coolest bands we can to have on this show. And to make sure you don't miss any of it, just hit that button. As usual, you can find this session right now on every streaming platform known to man, Spotify, Apple Music, and all the rest. And now, all the way from Dallas, Texas, we got Bleed here. Take it away, fellas. Hey guys, this has always been something strange for us here at Audiotree. Over 88% of you who watch our videos are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So could we please ask you a favor? If you like the show and you like discovering new music and you want to support us, the free and simple way to do that is to just hit the subscribe button. And our commitment to you is that if you do that, our team will continue to get the best bands we can. We'll listen to your feedback. We'll book the bands you want to see on the show, and we'll continue spreading the word of live music to the world. Thank you so much. That was Through the Cylinder by Bleed. How sick was that, guys? 3 guitar players. Probably the biggest, loudest band I've had so far here. Sounds so sick. And that breakbeat intro at the beginning of that song, like the perfect touch of nostalgia.
Shout out Cleo.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Good, man.
Good.
Glad to hear it. Glad to have you guys here. So you guys are currently on tour right now with One Step Closer, Ends of Sanity, Football Head, and I believe soon to be joined by World of Pleasure.
That's right.
You guys stoked on this run?
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, it's a cool one. It's always cool, I feel like, to see a mixed bill like that. You know what I mean? Got a little bit of hardcore, a little bit of heavy, a lot of like rock music. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's
kind of where we live.
Yeah, I love that though. I think it's so cool. So, how many times have you guys played Chicago before?
It's the second time.
Second time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A question I like to ask everybody. As a big eater myself, and Chicago is such a big city of food, are there any spots that are the direct go-to for any of you guys when you're here in town?
I don't know.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Outing ourselves as
Yeah.
uncultured
Do we-
Chicago
is
foodies.
Quesadillas still a thing?
Do we sound like losers? if
Quesadillas
we
is
say,
a thing.
Quesadillas
If we
great.
say Pequods or
Love
something?
quesadilla.
Pequod's is a good one. That's like the cut above your Lou Malnati's and your Giordano's for deep dish.
Right.
So, right there, there's your Chicago culture points. So,
That's what's up.
I think it works pretty well. So, you guys definitely have more of an alternative brand to your music, something I noticed right off the bat when I was checking you guys out. And I've noticed, especially in this community of heavy music recently, seeing bands like Fleshwater, Static Dress, even like Super Heaven, this sound seems to be becoming more and more prominent, which I think is really cool. But I want to ask you guys, as some people who make the best of it, what do you guys think it is that kind of has brought this revival of this sound back?
I don't know, honestly.
I think it might just be a combination of listening to all the music that our parents listened to, and now everyone's old enough to make that music and it sound good and not like shit.
That's a really good point. And it's very funny you say that because I was just having a conversation with my father about the Gin Blossoms the other day. And I could definitely hear a little bit of that going on in here. What is some of that music your parents like that you think influenced what you guys do here?
Pissed on.
Yeah?
White Zombie and Deftones.
Okay, I hear it for sure.
Pumpkins.
I was brought up on Steely Dan. I don't know what to tell you.
Rush.
Yeah.
Great, yeah.
Give me your favorite Steely Dan record.
He said name.
If you got
Oh no!
Crud!
I
Yeah.
don't do records. I just listen.
All right, fair. I got you, man. I got you. I feel you. So, that being said, do you guys think the era that we kind of, saying that this is music our parents listened to, which I would agree, my parents were definitely into a lot of this style in this era, especially when I was coming up. And if I had to guess, I would assume we're all kind of in our 30s around here. What do you guys think it is about the music, the media, the art that we consume in our past that kind of ends up rearing its head into our futures? What do you guys think it is about it that gets us to that point?
Special.
Yeah, I think especially with like 90s stuff, it was like one of, if not the last era before like the real digital age came through. And like as soon as the 2000s, you had your MySpaces and, the new modern metalcore was, coming out and stuff. So I think it is a snapshot of something that it's nostalgic to us because we grew up listening to it, but I think maybe that's why we're able to execute it.
I grew up on CDs.
Talking to your mic, Adam.
Check.
That makes
I grew up on Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Going to buy the CD at Walmart.
Yep.
Bro, hell yeah. My mom taking me to Circuit City every weekend to get
Yeah,
that shit.
big
You know what I'm
fuck
saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
I played the fucking shit out of it.
Hell yeah. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, guys, can we hear a couple of other songs you got?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And that was Marathon by Bleed. Guys, something I got to tell you right off the bat. When I was young, I was obsessed with alternative rock, listening to radio stations that we had here in Chicago, like Q101 and 94.7 The Zone, that doesn't exist anymore. And I used to find so many bands like that just by listening to the radio. But another way I used to listen to music a lot and discover new bands was by playing Tony Hawk games.
For sure.
And some of these songs literally take me back to playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. It sounds like this would be one of the bands I would find on the soundtrack that I'd be like, I have to check them out outside of this game. So I'd like to go around the room and ask all of you guys, if you could pick one Bleed song in any video game, Tony Hawk game, maybe a Madden game, anything from that era, what song of yours would be in which game? You could tell me why, or you could not tell me why.
I would say I would put Fixate in ATV Off-Road Fury 2 for the PlayStation 2.
Perfect answer.
Climbing down in Madden.
Hard.
What was that? What was that NHL game?
Hits?
Hits.
Yeah.
Hits.
I was gonna
Climbing
go.
down in hits. for
Yeah, I was gonna
sure.
go sports as well and go Blitz 2000.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
NFL
one.
Street. Remember that?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a shallow somewhere in a Call of Duty game so we can get that bag.
Yeah, let's go. You probably would, honestly.
In the credits.
Yeah.
We're saving that for the new Batman movie, actually. So.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Let's go.
Robert
We'll-
Pattinson, Bleed track.
Yeah, we go hard. So, something I discovered before I want to talk about the new record, something I found out while I was researching about this record is this album was put on $20 spin, which to my knowledge and most of the experience I have with that label primarily releases a lot of death metal stuff.
Yeah.
So to hear something like this come out on the label that's this quality is so cool. Can I ask you guys how that collaboration came about?
Yeah, it kind of happened with mutual friends. Friend Victor, who plays in the band Skeleton, he kind of put Dave at $20 spin onto us, and he was down. You know, he was like, "This is cool. It's definitely not what I'm used to," but he was like, "We're in it together," and it kind of works for us because Dave rocks, and we like the label too, like all the other bands that are on it, and we don't want to really do something that's recycled. You know, we don't want to do something that everyone else is doing. So it works for us, and it's fun. I think it's good.
I think it's awesome. I think if anything, it's going to make a band like you guys stand out even more.
For sure.
Because here's this label that pushes bands like Immoral Bird and Fulci, and now you got a record like Bleed.
Yeah.
And I've seen more coverage on this record, just even from friends around town, like more than a lot of other releases. So it's really cool. And I just think it's cool when a label like that is willing to try something different, but it's so quality. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I love it. So I want to ask you guys about this new record. This is your first debut full length, and I know you guys have an EP before that. Where did you guys notice the most growth from the band from working on that first release to then compiling everything for this record?
Probably right after the EP came out.
Yeah. Killing Time, probably the single.
Yeah.
When we did Killing Time as a single in 2022, I guess, right before we went on tour with Narrowhead, that seemed to do pretty well. And we haven't played a bunch of shows in like the last 3 years. So when we did play, it was usually pretty good, which was awesome. And it kind of makes now going on tour and doing stuff like that even better because we haven't really done much up until now, and we now have 9 more songs than we had 3 years ago. So
Which some people say is still not enough.
it's still not enough. Yeah.
Hey, sometimes great works of art take time, right?
That's
Absolutely.
I tell them to keep waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Keep waiting.
So tell me, when it came to the songwriting process for the full length, did you guys try and do anything different from the EP, or did you guys notice anything that was different when coming up and writing this music?
We really tried to just push the envelope as much as we could and just make things a little bit heavier. Like we tuned down from where the EP was. We just try to make things a little bit more. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people expected us to lean into certain aspects, and I think we maybe subconsciously decided to not do that and lean into something else. Which, like, the first song with, like, the scratches on it was, we kind of just wanted to come out the gate with, like, a statement of how different we were removing ourselves from the EP. Not totally, but more than what some people would want us to, I think.
And then there's songs like Shallow, too, that are like the opposite end of the spectrum. I think that we talk about the LP a lot as there is kind of something for everyone on there, because it does kind of sit between two extremes, and that's what we enjoy.
Yeah, and the music to me seems to sit right in that sweet spot, You got the screams going on for some of these heavier parts. Those lower sounding parts are really, I could tell the tuning's definitely lower. You could hear it, and it just feel like it resonates so much. And I would even say that probably helps when it comes to playing on a mixed bill, you know what I mean? People are getting the heavy parts, people are getting the catchy parts. It's really cool,
Yeah.
All this different type of stuff. So there was a quote I read when reading the press release about this new record that stood out to me more than anything else, and I really like it. And I kind of want to know what it means to you guys. And that quote was, "This is the kind of album that endlessly loops in the back of the mind at 3 a.m." What do you guys think that means to you?
We were listening to songs that inspired this record probably 20 years ago at 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
over and over.
Absolutely. You could see the parallel right there. You know what I mean? I think that's so cool, though. And I think it does encapsulate it right. You know what I mean? I could see myself listening to this album, anytime after midnight on a long, quiet drive home, And it's like the right amount of heavy, but not too crazy, where I'm just like, I can't be listening to this scary-ass shit at fucking 1 in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just static.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely think that it's cool nighttime music.
Awesome.
Creatively speaking, it seems like you guys are on a roll with the sound you want to establish for the band. And it feels like you guys are only refining it, kind of like we discussed it before. From creating such a vibe with the aesthetics, like the album artwork and the logo, from having Ollie from Static Dress on a track, what I really want to know is, with a band so creative as is, where do you guys see the creative future of Bleed?
Ruby?
Definitely not making the same record over and over again. I think that we want to just make sure that we're either doing something new or pushing some type of envelope that maybe would separate us from our peers. Not in a negative way or anything, but just I don't think we want to do anything that people are going to expect us to do.
Just honestly, more, pushing the envelope.
We're
like you said.
definitely people of extremes, so
Yeah.
I think we want to keep leaning into that, if anything else.
Harder, faster, darker, I don't know. We'll see.
I love it. I think that's the perfect way to go about it. And that being said, guys, you want to play the rest of the songs we got today?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it. That was Cynical by Bleed here. And alas, we have reached the end of the show. But before we say goodbye, I would like to thank the amazing audio crew, the amazing video crew here at Audiotree, and I'd like to thank Bleed for the amazing performance today. Lastly, I would like to thank our viewers. If you feel so inclined, please hit that subscribe button on our channel below. And if you like the session, leave a comment below and let us know what you think. You can check out this session right now on Spotify, Apple Music, and every other streaming platform available. And once again, my name is Jason. Thank you for your time today. We'll see you very soon.